Okay, let's dive into the explainer. Look, if you build enterprise software in the SAP ecosystem, you know the drill, right? Keeping your local dev environment configured, updated, and actually connected to everything, honestly, it can feel like a second full-time job. Well, today, we're going to completely eliminate that friction. We're demystifying SAP Business Application Studio, or BAS for short, and showing you exactly how this cloud-native workflow is going to get you coding way faster.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the future of SAP Dev. Look at how to unlock your workspace. Explore those tailored developer experiences, master ABAP and Fiori, and then wrap it all up with some serious power user commands.
Section 1, the future of SAP Dev, and the paradigm shift we're seeing right now.
So we are right in the middle of a massive architectural upgrade. On one side, you've got the legacy SAP Web IDE. It's sunsetting, it's based on that older Orion architecture, and let's be honest, it has pretty limited back-end ABAP support. But on the flip side, you have the modern SAP BAS. This thing is built on the open-source Eclipse Theo framework, meaning it shares its DNA with VS Code. And it brings absolute first-class support for both ABAP and the Cloud Application Programming Model.
What does that mean for you? Well, you get a full VS Code-like experience, complete with that huge extension ecosystem, but with zero local installation required. Literally none. It's a high-performance environment delivered straight through your browser, so no more massive local downloads, and definitely no more agonizing over mismatched node versions breaking your team's builds. Huge relief, right?
All right, Section 2. Let's talk about unlocking your workspace and actually getting access to BAS.
Getting in is managed entirely through the SAP BTP cockpit. And it's basically 3 really straightforward steps. First, you just add the BAS entitlement to your subaccount. Second, create an instance in the service marketplace. And finally, and pay attention here because this is where folks always seem to get stuck, you've got to assign the correct role collections to your user. Specifically, you need the developer or admin role. Once you nail that, the door is officially unlocked.
On to Section 3, Tailored Developer Experiences. This is where the magic really happens.
When you log into BAS, you're not just opening some generic text editor. You're creating what SAP calls a dev space. Think of a dev space like a highly specialized containerized tool belt. It's a totally isolated environment that comes preloaded with exactly the SDKs, the extensions, and the configurations you need for whatever specific SAP use case you're tackling.
In practice, you've got 5 primary dev spaces to pick from, giving you incredible versatility. Building CAP or Node.js backends? Spin up a full-stack space. Hyper-focused on SAP UI5? Grab the Fiori space. There are dedicated spaces for native HANA artifacts, basic general-purpose environments, and yes, even back-end ABAP development. You can actually maintain multiple spaces for all your different projects and just toggle them on and off as you need them.
But here's the cool part. No matter which specialized space you pick, you always keep a core set of built-in superpowers. I'm talking about the VS Code extension marketplace, super robust Git integration, a multi-language debugger, and powerful global search. But for developers migrating to the cloud, the real game changer is the full Linux terminal. Having a native shell to just run your NPM scripts and Cloud Foundry deployments right inside your browser, it is incredibly empowering.
Which brings us to Section 4, Mastering ABAP and Fiori and Bridging those traditional systems.
Before we look at the code, we've got to address the elephant in the room, a really crucial architectural question. If your IDE lives out there in the public cloud, how exactly does BAS securely connect to your legacy on-premise ABAP systems that are locked down behind your corporate firewall?
Well, here's how you build that secure bridge. First up, your infrastructure team sets up the SAP Cloud Connector locally on your network. Second, over in your BTP cockpit, you create an HTTP destination pointing to that connector. And this is key, make sure the property Web IDE enabled is set to true. Finally, inside BAS, you just open your command palette and run ABAP, create ABAP project. That single command reads your destination and instantly, securely links your Cloud IDE right to your on-prem backend.
Now contrast that on-prem setup with connecting to S/4HANA Cloud. If you're fully in the cloud, you skip that whole cloud connector piece entirely. You literally just download a service key JSON file from your BTP instance, upload it into BAS when you create your project, and boom, you are authenticated. It's almost shockingly simple.
And once you're connected, you lose absolutely zero functionality compared to a local Eclipse setup. You keep your full source code editing, direct object activation, Yep, that F3 shortcut still works perfectly. Transport management, ATC code checks, ABAP unit testing, the whole shebang. All of it running natively right in your browser. All right, shifting gears from the back end to the front end, Fiori. As you probably know, this is SAP's modern, role-based UX framework built on SAP UI5. And honestly, BAS is arguably the single best environment in the world to build these apps.
Why? Because of the embedded Fiori tools suite. You're not stuck writing raw XML and JavaScript from scratch anymore. The application generator scaffolds out your projects instantly. The page map gives you this beautiful visual overview of all your navigation flows. But my absolute favorite feature has to be guided development. It's basically a step-by-step wizard that just injects capabilities straight into your code. It happily eliminates all that mind-numbing boilerplate coding for you.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Power User Commands. Let's get you coding instantly faster.
Look, if you take only one single thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Because BAS is fundamentally built on VS Code, the command palette is your absolute best friend. It's the most important habit you can build. Hitting Control-Shift-P, or F1, opens up a search bar that gives you instant access to literally every command, wizard, and setting in the entire application. It's your skeleton key.
And keeping your hands firmly on the keyboard keeps your coding speed up. Let's run through your universal lifesavers. Control+ gives you quick open to instantly jump to any file. Control and the backtick key, that toggles your integrated terminal. Control-Shift-G pops open your Git panel to stage commits, and Shift-Alt-F will automatically prettify your document so your code is always perfectly indented.
Now, once you're inside that terminal, your speed just multiplies. For cloud application programming, simply running CDS watch spins up a local server and live reloads your app every single time you hit save. Need to push your database models? CDS deploy -lock2 HANA fires them straight to your instance. And all your standard commands like git clone work exactly as you'd expect, seamlessly pulling remote repos right into your cloud workspace. So, what does this all mean? By completely eliminating that local setup friction, automating the boilerplate, and giving you a universally accessible, high-speed IDE, SAP Business Application Studio fundamentally changes the speed at which you can deliver value. Your dev environment isn't a bottleneck